Hey guys, today we're diving into a pivotal moment in world history, the Opium War. The year is 1842. For centuries, China stood as the dominant power in East Asia, a civilization radiating wealth, culture and tradition. It saw itself as the Middle Kingdom, untouched and needing nothing from the outside world. Then came the 19th century, and with it, a new global power, Britain, demanding trade on its own terms. What started as a dispute over a drug would blow up into a war that shattered China's ancient confidence and forced it into a brutal collision with the modern world. So let's start at the root of the conflict. Picture this: a bustling port city of Canton, now known as Guangzhou, the primary hub for international trade during the Qing dynasty. The British had an insatiable craving for Chinese goods, tea, silk and porcelain, but the Chinese had little interest in British wool and manufactured goods. This created a massive trade imbalance. Britain was paying for everything with huge amounts of silver. To reverse this flow of silver, the British East India Company sought a product that the Chinese would buy, and they found it in opium, cultivated in British-controlled India. Opium was smuggled into China on a massive scale. Soon addiction rates skyrocketed, sapping the life out of communities and draining China's silver reserves back to Britain. The King Emperor Daoguang saw opium as a poison, both a moral and economic threat to his nation. In 1839, he dispatched one of his most brilliant and morally resolute officials, Lin Zexu, to Canton to eradicate the problem once and for all. Upon arriving in Canton, Lin Zexu wasted no time. He blockaded foreign merchants in their factories, confiscated all opium stocks, and compelled them to sign pledges renouncing the opium trade. He seized over 1,200 tons of the drug. In a defiant act, Lin had the entire opium stockpile publicly destroyed by dissolving it in the sea. It was a decisive victory for China's sovereignty, but for the British, it was an outrage. Their private property had been confiscated and destroyed. The British merchants pressured London to take military action, despite moral qualms. One British politician called it a war more unjust in its origins than any war that ever was waged. Parliament sided with merchants, motivated by trade and national pride. They dispatched a naval expedition to China. On August 5, 1841, a squadron of 7 warships anchored off the coast of Hong Kong. Thus began the Opium War. That war was a stark display of the technological divide between China and the West. Britain deployed state-of-the-art iron steam warships like the Nemesis, armed with massive cannons that could fire 64-pound cannons for miles. Opposed to this, China's antiquated navy and coastal defense systems were woefully inadequate. They were designed to fend off pirates, not a modern industrialized nation. The British fleet dominated the seas. They blockaded Chinese ports, bombarded coastal cities, and menaced the Grand Canal, the lifeline of China's economy. Within 2 years, they had control of the Yangtze River, the heartland of China, overwhelmed and unable to mount a defense. The Qing court was forced to seek peace. On August 29, 1842, the Treaty of Nanking was signed, opening a new chapter in China's history. The treaty was humiliating. China ceded Hong Kong Island to Britain, paid a massive indemnity of 21 million silver dollars, and opened 5 treaty ports like Shanghai, where foreigners resided under their own laws, exempt from Chinese regulations. The Opium War was over, but its consequences resonated deeply. The war shattered China's self-image. It revealed the Qing dynasty's weakness and forced China to confront a new world order. The memory of this humiliation fueled China's century-long journey for rejuvenation and modernization, eventually culminating in its emergence as a global power in the 21st century. From the Second Opium War to the Boxer Rebellion, from the fall of the Qing dynasty in 1911 to the rise of modern China, the legacy of the Opium War continues to shape China's narrative. The Opium War is more than a historical event. It's a pivotal moment that led to China's turbulent journey through the 20th century and beyond. I hope this video gave you some insight into this important part of world history. Thanks for watching. See you next time.